This is the 7th video tutorial for Google Apps for Education at S&M Keilor College. This time we're going to have a quick look at Google Calendar. Now, there are a few ways that we can access Google Calendar, but most importantly, we don't actually get it through this main menu like we have for everything else. So you can see we've got Classroom, Drive, Docs, Sheets, Forms, everything that we've looked at so far is all there, but there is no Google Calendar. Now, there's a couple of reasons for this. Google Calendar will appear anywhere you see these dots where you're signed into your education.vic.gov.au account. So these dots here bring up your apps, and you can see we can access all the apps that we've been looking at through there, but Calendar does appear there. Now, additionally to this, if you are using Chrome like I am, it will just appear straight away. So those dots are there. You can get Calendar there. Or if you go to google.com, particularly if you're using Internet Explorer, you may need to go to google.com, and it will then have access to Calendar there. So anywhere you see those dots, you can access your calendar. So let's click on Calendar, and let's have a look what it offers. So the first thing we might note, we can view this from a day, week, month, 4 days, or agenda perspective. Personally, I like to look at it from a month perspective. Now you can sort of, like any internet page, you can zoom in and out to make this look different if you choose to do so. So you can see that's zoomed to 80%. Personally, I'll keep it around 100% just so I can see all these calendars down the side here nice and easily. I also like the month view. It gives me a good sort of idea of what's coming up in and around today's date. So you may notice on the side here that I have a list of the calendars that I'm a part of. Now, I've created all these groups and classes and this and that, so that means I've got an awful lot of calendars in there. For some of you, they may appear in the other calendars section because they might be things that you have that you've joined. So if you've joined a classroom or something like that, then they may appear in the other calendars section. So let's just have a quick look at one of these events, for example. So in my Google Classroom, we can see here that I've got an assignment that's due Thursday. That pops up in here. I've set that assignment inside Google Classroom. So you remember from one of our previous tutorials that we set an assignment, we set a due date, and it pops up there. And it does also pop up in the calendar. So that assignment there is linked to my Google video tutorial. And we can see that we can then edit that event from here. And if I click on Edit Event, it will bring up all the details that I've set for that particular assessment. Okay, so for the time being, I don't actually want to edit it, but I might also like to view this differently. So what I can choose to do is I can choose to get that off my calendar simply by clicking on the link there. And you notice that that's made that box transparent, and automatically that event has disappeared. So you might be a member of a number of different calendar groups, and you might not want to see all those calendars at once on your screen. And if that is the case, you can choose to toggle them on and off simply by clicking on that link. So let's bring that one back. So I'll click there. All of a sudden it pops back up. So, at this stage, I have no problem seeing all my calendars. It's kind of handy for me. And if you've got classrooms and you've sort of got assignments, I think it's really good to have everything in this one place on this one platform. Now we can also see that is color-coded blue to match with the calendar. Now you can actually change the color of specific things if you like. So for example, we have decided that school holidays will be in green. And if I go and click on that, it's part of the EKC cross-college calendar. But when I look over here, cross-college calendar is a different color. We've just chosen that to be green so it stands out on the calendar a little bit better, and you can certainly edit those yourself as well. So how do we create a calendar and how do we create an event? So we'll go back to today. First thing, let's look at how we create a calendar. So I click on the little drop-down box beside my calendars, and I go Create New Calendar, and I'm going to call this Test Calendar. This is the description of the calendar. If I could spell description, it would help. And we can select our time zones and all this sort of bits and pieces down here as well. Now, sharing with calendars, you can do that through this section. We can make it public. We can do all that sort of stuff. Personally, I think it's easier for us to share by typing in the names of the people we want to share the calendar with. So let's say I want to share this with Lachlan Hillier. Type the name in, pops up there. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to set this so that Lachlan can have more privileges. So currently he's set to see all event details. I'm going to set it so he can make changes and manage sharing and all that sort of business as well. Okay, so we've changed that, and now Lachlan will have as much sort of access and control that I do, or we can change it to have him so he can just see events, cannot add people, or can only see when I'm free or busy, and it won't actually give details of what I'm doing at those events. Okay, so that's the simple way to create a calendar. I'm going to cancel that because we don't necessarily need that created. And once your calendar is created, then we need to know how it is that we can add events to it. So let's say I want to add an event for tomorrow. You can really quickly just go click on it, test event, and here I need to pick which calendar it's going into. So because we have different calendars, you need to make sure it's going into the correct calendar. So I might want to put something in for my, my year 10 year level, or I might want it to go into a campus level calendar. For the time being, I'm just going to put it into the Derek Glennie calendar. Now this is the stuff that will appear on my calendar and nobody else's. So I can just do that and then click create, and that's going to make that, it's going to assume it's an all-day event. Really nice, really simple way of doing things. Let's just delete that and create another one. So click on it. This time though, I'm going to edit the event. And this is going to give me more options. So I'm going to come in here and say test event, and I'm going to say that this event goes from 10 o'clock till 11 o'clock tomorrow. Location is school. It really wants me to pick something from the map. That's the calendar it's going into. I can obviously put a description of the event here. Again, if I want to add people, I can just start typing their names in the side here, and this will invite people to attend this event as well. So I've added Lachlan to that list, and we can see here I can give them the availability to modify the event, to invite others, or to see the guest list, or I can take all those away from them, either or. So as we mentioned before, we can change the event colour for this, and something that I really like is the event notification. You can set an event notification to happen at weeks, days, hours, minutes beforehand. I'm going to have one day before, and I'm going to have one 30 minutes before. And I've added these calendars to my phone, so certainly on an Android phone it's really easy to add other calendars. It really does depend which calendar application you're using as to how easy it is to add the calendars. But I'm basically going into my phone and saying I want to add another Google Calendar. It's asking me what the Google email address is, and I'm putting in, as I have done with other aspects of this, I'm putting in my, and I don't know if you can read that, but my TO number at education.vic.gov.au, and I'm signing in with my my Edgemail username. So I put that information into the calendar, and basically instantly it brought up all of my calendars, and I'll cancel this so you can see it. Where am I? Discard. So it's instantly brought in all of these different calendars down the side here, so another 7 or 8 calendars. I can, on the application on my phone, I can filter which calendars are popping up and which calendars aren't popping up, so that's nice and easy. But I'm getting those notifications that I've set are coming through to my phone, so I don't have to be sitting at my computer to get a notification. It just sort of pops up on my phone and says, beep beep, you've got an event coming up. Now, as I said, different applications will handle that process differently. If people would like assistance with that, you're more than welcome to contact me, and I can either find the relevant material for you or sit down and go through it with you. But I think that's a really good sort of start for Google Calendar. You can see we've started to put some stuff in for cross-college calendars, and eventually we will have everybody added to the necessary calendar groups. But this is a lot easier than us having our traditional bit of paper calendar where we can't really add things. You're not getting notifications, and it gets lost in a mountain of paper on your desk. So this is sort of 2018 and beyond, and for my mind that's a step in the right direction. So if anyone has other questions, there are definitely more features about Calendar that we can look at down the track, including how you can sort of turn these calendar events into a video conference and stuff like that. We just want to sort of start with the simple stuff today, and we'll move on from there. So any other questions, don't hesitate to contact me, and happy planning with Google Calendar.